Welcome to DA Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. It's good to have you with us. Coming up in today's news, we follow Pingdong Tzu Chi volunteers as they console two grieving parents who lost their only son in a drowning incident. Next, we bring you the story of Taiwan's Taipei Rapid Transit System controllers who work behind the scenes to keep the Greater Taipei running. Finally, we join students from Singapore's Mahabodhi School, where they attended a two-day humanitarian camp learning about gratitude and respect. We start the show in Taiwan's Pingdong. Past Tzu Chi Care recipient Mr. and Mrs. Zhang recently lost their only son in a drowning accident. Upon learning of the news, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived to accompany the heartbroken parents through this difficult time.
As the drowning victim's body is sent to a funeral home, Tzu Chi volunteers are on hand to chant Buddhist sutras. On June 16th, the victim went to the seaside with his friends, but unfortunately drowned. His body was found 3 days later. As the victim's parents grieved for their son's death, Tzu Chi volunteers were by their side to soothe their pain.
My brother took a raft to send a lunchbox to my mother during a typhoon day. His oar dropped in the water. When he tried to pick it up, he fell. 2 or 3 days later, his body was found in Donggang. I can understand your pain. My mother cried every day.
Like in the old days, Tzu Chi volunteers showed up to give much-needed care, as 10 years ago, the couple was once Tzu Chi's care recipients.
We also took part in their events. We went to her home in Shepi. She was a breakfast shop owner, don't you remember?
As the couple lost their beloved child, Tzu Chi volunteers came to hand out consolation cash and promised to help them get through this difficult time.
In Myanmar, following Cyclone Nargis, Tzu Chi has finished rebuilding 3 schools in the city of Yangon. Next, Tzu Chi plans on restoring 29 schools in the farming village of Tianying Township. Recently, volunteers visited the village to survey the conditions of the school.
Knocking on a metal pillar to check on the sturdiness of the classroom of Myanmar Tzu Chi volunteers who are serving schools in Tianying Township, Yangon.
This place leaks when it rains. It floods everywhere.
Volunteers also examined the foundation of each classroom to see if they're able to withstand future natural disasters.
We will need to put one pillar here, and it has to be exactly the same as the other one. We need to do a proper job in rebuilding these schools.
Visiting schools door to door, Tzu Chi volunteers soon realized that some schools don't even have lights on campus. Following Cyclone Nargis in 2008, Tzu Chi volunteers distributed rice seedlings to farmers and focused on children's education. Since most of the schools were already in poor shape, the tropical storm has worsened their condition.
This is a big challenge.
Recently, Tzu Chi has finished rebuilding 3 schools in the country and plans on rebuilding 29 schools in Tianying Township, Yangon.
Some of the schools have larger school grounds, while others are smaller. We will build these schools according to the suggestions given by Mr. Zheng Yan.
With plans to restore 29 schools, Tzu Chi volunteers promise to provide quality education to these children, as they hope to give them a future that is full of possibility.
June is the start of a new school year in Thailand, and for students at the Chiang Mai Tzu Chi School, it is also a time to celebrate Teachers' Day. Volunteers hope that by taking a day to honor their educators, students can learn to respect and value the work teachers do on their behalf.
Students here at the Tzu Chi Chiang Mai School work together to assemble baskets of flowers in honor of Teachers' Day. The event is held every year on the first day of the new school year. It is a tradition that has brought students and teachers closer together.
Teachers' Day is used to show our respect to the teachers and thank the teachers for working so hard to educate us and helping us find direction in our lives so that we can grow up to be pillars of society.
As part of the ceremony, each student kneels in front of their teacher with a basket full of flowers, which they present as a symbol of their respect and gratitude.
After taking part in this Teachers' Day ceremony, I have learned how to express my respects to my teachers, as well as how to be grateful for the jobs that they are doing.
This year's ceremony was entirely organized by the students themselves. Seeing the students work so hard on their behalf, teachers here at the school were truly moved.
Everyone was so cute in today's event. I appreciate the hard work that every student put into today's event in order to make it as perfect as it was. I am sure that every teacher was moved by their efforts. Today's students learn how to cherish their teachers, while we teachers felt even closer to our students as a result.
Thanks to the efforts of the students, this year's Teachers' Day was a success in helping bring students and teachers closer as everyone gets ready to kick off another school year together.
In Taiwan's Greater Taipei metro area, the Taipei Rapid Transit System ferries over 1.6 million passengers on its trains on a daily basis. The mass transit system is like an artery of the city, allowing passengers to get to their destination. However, who is working behind the scenes to make sure citizens have a train to ride on? We now introduce you to the controllers of Taipei MRT. 7 to 9 in the morning are the peak hours of Taipei's mass transit system. Every second counts as passengers head for work or school, and any delay is not tolerable.
At dawn, our trains leave the garage one by one and are sent to the service lines. Some of them leave eastbound towards the Beitou station, while some leave westbound towards the Zhongyi station. At midnight, when the service ends, each train comes back one by one to be stored in the garage.
Come off-peak hours, excess trains on the service lines will then make their way back to the train depot in an orderly fashion.
Now, each train is normally parked on the storage track. If they are due for maintenance, then the driver would have to contact the control tower to move the train to the maintenance track.
The control tower stands 19 meters tall and has a bird's eye view of the whole facility. Everything is run from the office on the top of the tower.
Later, a train tagged 0506 will return to the garage via track 102 on the east side, so a route has already been assigned from track 102 on the east side to here, track 411, where it will reverse. This grid here needs to be constantly refreshed and updated, so I can keep track of the position of each train. We use magnets here to help us do our job. Okay, 507, 508, confirm parked at 103C, and all status green. Thank you from tower. Alright, now another train is coming.
Anything that is related to the train rails at the depot must first be reported to the tower. Only when a controller gives the authorization can people or trains move on the track.
Say if I didn't first confirm the location of ID 107 before I authorize a passage, then I could potentially put the crew in harm's way. I need to be first aware of where my maintenance teams are and know their IDs. If a train will pass near them, I must first confirm with them that they are in the clear and that the train can pass. This is something that I must never forget to do.
Adjusting the control board while talking on a walkie-talkie at the same time, this is a job that demands concentration. Pei Jianming has been a controller for 7 years and has been serving Taipei Metro for 17 years. He started from the bottom and worked his way to the top, though now working behind the scenes, customer service remains first in his heart.
If a train is not properly dispatched, then it falls on me. If Taipei Metro has no trains running, then passengers cannot get to their destination. Thus, I do this job with a sense of service. Since I also ride the MRT, I can relate to the passengers' feeling.
As a matter of fact, a controller will have to complete all tasks that keep a depot operational alone. He will have to first undergo at least 6 months of training. He will also be first required to obtain a train operator's license, for he will have to sometimes help other operators troubleshoot problems they encounter. Plus, he will have to know everything inside the control tower, the control board, and the computers, etc., inside out.
Hundreds of thousands of people use the MRT every day. It is thanks to trained controllers like Pei Jianming, who train for years, that they can get to their destination in a timely fashion. Knowing the importance of their job, MRT's controllers pay attention to even the smallest detail, so the Greater Taipei metro area can go about its business without a hitch. Taiwan's Coast Guard Administration facility in Miaoli County's Holon town is heavily guarded. Over the years, Tzu Chi volunteers have broke down barriers and paid regular visits, hoping to bring some spiritual comfort to these hardworking public servants.
Tzu Chi was established over 40 years ago. There are 4 main missions, which are charity, medicine, education, and humanitarianism, and they are actively involved in charitable missions worldwide.
With the captain giving his team a thorough introduction of Tzu Chi, the blue and white clad Tzu Chi volunteers are here at the Coast Guard Administration for a visit.
There are more overweight people than there are hungry people, because when they eat for the sake of eating, not because they need to.
Volunteers use the opportunity to explain to the Coast Guard why desire is like a bottomless pit and only with contentment can one find happiness. Through interaction and witty dialogue, retired high school teacher and Tzu Chi volunteer Liu Biying knows how to lift up the mood in a room. Treating each Coast Guard like her own children, Liu Biying's kindness has brought out their gentle side.
It has made whole what was lacking for us spiritually. The counseling we give them is tangible, but what you brothers and sisters bring each time is intangible. It's on a higher level spiritually.
Today's event reaped many unexpected rewards as volunteers' genuineness touched the lives of these hardworking Coast Guards.
The cast and crew of the Da'ai drama, The Sky Beyond, paid a visit to Taiwan's Taoyuan Women's Prison on June 19th. During this visit, Chen Xiuxiu, the real-life character of the story, also showed up to share her experiences with the inmates. Let's take a look.
This is a rare scene here at Taoyuan Women's Prison. Every day, the inmates all eagerly anticipate the Da'ai drama, The Sky Beyond. And today, the cast and crew are here in prison to interact with them.
我觉得很高兴，因为他们都放下身段，然后包含慈济的师兄师姐。
I am really happy because they are all so down to earth. Tzu Chi brothers and sisters treat us inmates with respect, and I really appreciate that.
The Sky Beyond depicts the life story of Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Xiuxiu, who has continuously cared for inmates for more than 20 years. Chen is always overwhelmed with feelings during each prison visit.
这样子的爱到底有效吗？要不然怎么
Showing my love to them, does it help? If so, then why are there still so many people going to prison? I keep telling myself again and again that as long as I continue to help them, I believe one day I will see the fruits of my efforts.
能够帮助自己以后有能力可以帮助更多人。对。
I hope I will be able to help more people in need by devoting myself.
With their love and care, Tzu Chi volunteers hope these inmates will truly repent for their mistakes and start their life anew upon their release.
Head nurse of Taiwan's Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital, Wang Lihua, passed away from cancer on June 8th. For the past 23 years, Wang has devoted herself to Tzu Chi's medical mission, and her determination inspired many to follow her footsteps. At the memorial service, many of Wang's former colleagues and patients were there to extend their appreciation and blessings.
A short film brings all present to tears. This is a memorial service for head nurse Wang Lihua of the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital. Wang was known for her motherly love and care to her patients and colleagues.
Don't worry about us. We are ready. We are well trained. You said we are the best because we had a great mentor.
A nurse for 23 years, Wang always gave her all. Despite suffering from cancer, she still seized the opportunity to encourage her colleagues to join her in sutra performance.
Now that you have departed to a place which needs you more, waiting for you to take on a task, we can only let you go on your new journey.
Though saying goodbye is never easy, her family members are still full of gratitude.
Thanks to the support of the Tzu Chi family, that we were able to get through the past 500 days.
Though Wang was born into a non-Buddhist family, she decided to become Master Zheng Yan's disciple and was given a Dharma name, Lü Yuan. The seeds of love she planted in her lifetime will surely flourish.
To cool down during summertime, many of us will drink cold beverages. However, according to traditional Chinese medicine, this actually has the opposite effect. In our next report, we learn how to make healthy beverages that can keep the heat at bay.
Taiwan's summer is not only hot but humid. Therefore, members of the public may encounter headaches, dizziness, loss of appetite, or even excessive thirst during this time. Most of us will pick up a cold beverage to cool down. However, according to Chinese medicine, this actually has the opposite effect.
People like to drink cold beverages during the summer, but this will actually trap moisture in our body. One also may feel thirsty and may contract diarrhea or feel dizzy.
According to Chinese medicine, black plum hullberry tea and Russell tea are the best beverages to enjoy during the hot summer.
Black plum, hawberry tea are not too sweet or sour. The sourness of the tea will help us sweat less. Creeping liripii will restore water to our body, so we won't feel thirsty. Russell has the same effect too.
The sweetness of Chinese licorice and creeping liripii can neutralize the sourness of the black plum and hullberry. Adding an appropriate amount of raw candy or honey to the Russell tea will make it taste better. When preparing the Russell tea, 800 cc of water is needed. After the water has come to a boil, the tea is steeped at minimum heat for 30 minutes. The beverage is ready when it cools down to room temperature. With these tips in mind, everyone can enjoy a healthy and safe drink during the summer months.
Students of the Mahabodhi School in Singapore participated in a 2-day humanitarian camp organized by their school and Tzu Chi's Da'ai mothers. The various activities over the 2 days taught the students much about gratitude and respect, lessons that will stay with them into the next school year.
Students pair up to draw a picture, with one giving directions and the other following. This activity, one of the many planned for these children at this 2-day humanitarian camp, helps them understand how two heads are truly better than one.
He will help me by telling me where to draw what. I appreciate that.
This activity is to show them that as we live in a community, we need to be thankful for the presence of others.
A short skit also transmits several important messages.
Before, I never cherished my parents and often argued with them.
If I have a choice, I want to go back that time and say sorry to her and would not make trouble again.
If the actors can create a connection with the children through their performance, it can really inspire the students' enthusiasm for studying. And the messages we want to transmit can all be sent through this channel.
In a hot and stuffy classroom, students learn firsthand the importance of cherishing our earth resources, while a few come to some important realizations.
I learn to be thankful to those around me as they give so much on our behalf.
If every person in the world has a heart of gratitude, the world would be a beautiful place.
By participating in a variety of activities and games, students go home from the 2-day camp with their hearts and minds changed for the better.
Also about students, learning of gratitude and respect in Taiwan's Banqiao and Sanchong district, Tzu Chi grounds in the New Taipei City, both held events for their Chisaos. Chisaos from Banqiao and their parents played games to better their parent-child relationship, while Sanchong Chisaos performed a sign language musical of profound gratitude to parents and moved many in the audience. In New Taipei City, Sanchong, the Chixiao class is coming to an end, and a performance of the sign language musical, Profound Gratitude to Parents, is the grand finale. Seeing the fruits of their children's labor, many parents were moved.
Participating in a play made me realize that in acting, you can continue to rehearse your part until you get it just right. But life is unrepeatable.
Although Liu Weigang played a rebellious child in the performance, he is actually very sweet in real life. Liu even invited his nanny to come watch his performance.
Actually, I feel like I have two mothers, so I want to tell both my mothers I love you.
I'm very comforted at how much Tzu Chi has helped him to be such an outstanding young man.
Meanwhile, at the Tzu Chi Banqiao grounds, Chisaos play various activities to strengthen their parent-child relationship, like a blindfolding game where the young led the old. In this switching of roles, some parents are rethinking their attitude towards their child.
My previous method was my word is law. Whatever I say goes. However, after today, I feel like I should try to be friends with my child.
These parents are also learning that filial piety is not limited to young ones only.
I have been holding onto my children's hands, yet forgetting to hold my mother's. Now that I want to hold onto my mother's hands, I no longer have the chance to.
Understanding that a little love can go a long way can help close the distance between parent and child. In the United States, on June 15th, a graduation ceremony was held at the Tzu Chi Academy in New York City. During the event, graduates performed the sign language musical, A Vow in Action. Many parents said that Tzu Chi Academy has not only helped improve their children's Chinese abilities, but also taught them valuable life lessons.
In the United States, at the Tzu Chi Academy in New York City, students are offering a cup of tea to their parents.
I think my children learned a lot at the Tzu Chi Academy. They not only learned Chinese here, but also Tzu Chi's humanistic spirits. I believe that I made the right decision in sending my children to the Tzu Chi Academy, and I'm very grateful.
With Tzu Chi's humanistic spirits in mind, these children learn to fulfill their filial duties. For many, the once-a-week Chinese class has enriched their lives. Although this is the end of the school year, students are already looking forward to the new semesters in September.
At the end of the show, we follow Taiwan's Tzu Chi volunteers as they care for the victims of the June 19th tour bus crash in Ali Mountain, which caused 1 death and 8 injuries as of early morning, June 20th. Volunteers arrived at the St. Martin's de Porres Hospital in Jiayi County to provide much-needed emotional support to the survivors of the accident. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.